Joe Khalil, now with more details on the Republican-led effort to investigate the Department of Justice and Department of Education. Joe, what are House Republicans telling you?
Good morning, Kelsey. So what they say is they're going to investigate both, as you mentioned, the Justice Department and the Department of Education over a probe that those departments were doing into parents who were accused of making threats to school board members. And House GOP members tell us that they're willing to use subpoena power to compel officials from those departments to come in and testify. Now, I talked to Jim Jordan yesterday, who is the new chairman of the Select, as it's being called, Weaponization Committee. And what he's telling us is that there were at least some 24 parents who he knows that got visits from the FBI after they were reported to a Justice Department task force that was set up in the fall of 2021, designed to address a rising number of threats to school board members nationwide. Now, Jordan yesterday told me that as far as he knows, none of those parents were ever charged with anything, and he makes the claim, and this is really his argument here, that the DOJ's task force was stifling free speech of some parents who simply wanted to express their opinions at school board meetings. I'm going to let you hear what Jim Jordan told me directly.
Anyone reported on that snitch line that the Attorney General of the United States put in place gets this designation placed by their name, and then they got a visit from the FBI. Yeah. That is, if that doesn't chill First Amendment free speech rights, I don't know what does.
So, Kelsey, here's the problem that Jordan and his committee is going to run into, and certainly what Democrats are going to bring up, is that the Department of Justice at this time was investigating a lot of actual legitimate real threats. In fact, Reuters reported more than 200 threats nationwide to school board members. A lot of them got some serious nationwide attention, including some really particular ones in Loudoun County, Virginia, where one teacher got this note sent to her home. And I'm going to read it here. It says here, "It's too bad that your mom is an ugly communist expletive. If she doesn't quit or resign before the end of the year, we will kill her. But first, we will kill you." There was another widely reported threat in Ohio that referenced Hitler and gas chambers, and a third talking about gutting school board members. So all of these were real threats that were reported to law enforcement. Now, the DOJ's task force was put together at the urging of the National Association of School Boards, who at the time called these threats domestic terrorism, Kelsey. Now, they've since walked back that language a bit, but they do stand by their request to the federal government to investigate a lot of these threats.
Joe, that letter that you read there, extremely upsetting. These are our educators. Well, I've got to ask more questions. What are Republicans who are pushing this investigation saying to you about those cases where the threats are real?
Well, we talked to Jim Jordan about that, Kelsey. I did ask him, what about these cases where you have these actual and very serious threats? And he said he acknowledges, those were real threats. He says that those should be handled by law enforcement, but he thinks that they should be handled on the local level rather than at the Department of Justice and the federal level. So, obviously there is another side to this. We're going to see as they move forward how they go about investigating all this.
Still so many more questions. Joe Khalil, thank you so much. That was a great reporting.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.